Another video from Fasttech. In this one, I'm going to be showing you guys how to disassemble and reassemble a mini fridge. In this one, I'm going to be showing you guys how to disassemble and reassemble an Xbox Series X. There's a lot of videos on YouTube that show you how to disassemble one of these, but there's still no video that shows you how to reassemble it once it's been disassembled. So this is another Fasttech first, another Fasttech exclusive. So please go ahead and smash that like button, smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. You are going to need some specialized Torx screwdrivers for this job, which are included in this Fasttech Pro Autokit, which we also sell a manual version of if you don't want the automatic screwdriver. I don't know why you wouldn't, but if you want the manual version, it's in the description box along with this Fasttech Pro Autokit. You can use the coupon code YouTube for a discount. Let's get started. To start disassembling, we're gonna look at the back. At the back of the console, there's gonna be this sticker here that we're gonna have to remove, and there's another screw hidden here under this sticker that we're gonna have to remove. All right, so we're gonna remove this sticker here. It's not a tamper-proof sticker, so even if you bypass it, it's not gonna show that it's been bypassed. I'm gonna run it through the sticker and remove it without damaging it. There's gonna be a Torx T8H screw here, and we're gonna remove the screw. The other screw that we need to remove is hidden right here, and we're gonna have to remove this sticker. You could go through this sticker right about here. We're gonna run our T8 screwdriver right through it, and we're gonna start turning anti-clockwise, of course, and the screw is gonna come out. All right, there you go. At this point, we're gonna be able to pry this piece out like that, coming out. Then we're gonna pull. All right, it's gonna come right off. Now we're gonna have to remove the stand. And to do that, once we lift this clip up, we can rotate the stand and it's gonna come off. Now that we've removed the stand, we're gonna remove these Torx screws. Right, now we're gonna remove the disk drive cover, also a Torx screw. This cover should come off as one piece. Again, everything's labeled. It's a very nice high quality metal cover for the disk drive cables. We're gonna remove the SATA cable for the disk drive. We're gonna wiggle and pull. Same thing with the power cable. And that's the Xbox Series X disk drive. It's a model DG6M5S. It's the same model as an Xbox One S and Xbox One X. It's the exact same disk drive, so that hasn't changed at all. We're gonna open up the disk drive and take a further look. We're gonna lift the bottom panel off. After lifting the bottom panel off, we can see that it's the same disk drive as the previous Xbox One S and Xbox One X models. Same logic board, pretty much looks identical. So if your Xbox One Series X disk drive fails, you can replace it, but you would have to take this logic board out and install it in your new disk drive. There's 3 ribbon cables that connect to hold it in. And there's these 2 wires that you have to unsolder and resolder onto the new disk drive. All right, let's close it back up. All right, now we're gonna disconnect the fan. There's a connector here. We're gonna grab it by the connector and wiggle and pull. You can also pinch the cables, but not one. You got to pinch them all and then wiggle and pull like that. There's 2 Torx screws here that we're going to remove. One in the middle here. That's a really interesting looking Torx screw right there. And now the fan's gonna come out. As you can see, it's a pretty big fan. It's a lot more similar looking to the Xbox One and Xbox One S fan. It has more in common with those than it does with Xbox One X fan. All right, now we're gonna have to remove these 2 cables here. We're gonna get our Fasttech pry tool out and we're gonna lift up on this connector like that. And now this cable is gonna come out. I'm gonna lift it up like that. You don't wanna use too much force. These ribbon cables are damn sensitive. And should be released. There you go. That's the cable. And then there's another one here up top. This one does not have a clip. We got to push down with our pry tool on the clip and then pull the ribbon cable out like that. It's easy if you've disconnected ribbon cables in the past. Once those cables are removed, we're just going to get this cable out of the way. There's some tape that holds it. Remove that, get that out of the way. And now our Xbox Series X motherboard sandwich, power supply, and the heatsink should come out. With this new console, Microsoft was like, would you like some computer with your heatsink? And that's exactly what happened. There's more heatsink in here than computing hardware. We're gonna remove this piece. It's a clip-on piece. It's rubber. It's gonna come off. It's like a strap. It does not hold anything in place. Okay? It just protects the console from vibrations from the rest of the body. All right, so we're gonna remove the screws that hold the power supply in. Clip here, I believe, should snap off. There you go, like that. And now we can get the cable out of the way. And then this piece is gonna come off like that. Also gonna have to remove this shield. All right, at this point, we're gonna be able to remove this shield like that. Now we're gonna open up this clip here like that. We're gonna remove the power supply cable. There's a little clip here that you gotta press. Gotta press that little clip. And then this is gonna come out. There's one more connector here with a clip up top. Press and pull. There's one more screw here that we need to remove. And now the power supply should be free. That's the power supply for the Xbox Series X. All right, here we have another Wi-Fi and Bluetooth module, which we're gonna remove. So to remove this network and Bluetooth chip, you're gonna pull outwards, and it's got a connector in there, as you can see. We're gonna put that to the side. We're gonna remove this shield. We're gonna lift it up. Now we're gonna remove this connector here, push it in from both sides, and then just lift like that. And now we got one of the logic boards out. This piece just came off, that's okay. That's one of the main boards. To get to the main logic board, we're gonna remove the bottom panel, the chassis. Center chases, we're gonna remove that. Get that out of the way. We're gonna remove this piece just by prying it up and releasing. All right, now that's the revised X clamp that holds the heatsink in place. We're gonna use a Torx T8 to remove the bolts that hold it in place. All right, let's take a closer look at the new X clamp. As you can see, there's a lot of tension on this thing, which means a lot of pressure on the APU chip, which is a good thing. So that should improve on the cooling compared to older units. All right, now we should be able to remove the motherboard from the heatsink. All right, motherboard separated from the heatsink. As you can see, a lot of thermal paste for the RAM, and that's our APU chip. And looks like Microsoft cheaped out on the thermal compound here. I mean, as compared to the Sony PS5, they went the liquid metal route. It's surprising to see that Microsoft would use some baseline thermal compound, even though they spent the money for all this copper and big heatsink and big fan extra cooling, but they cheaped out on the thermal paste. It's like buying a sports car and then cheaping out on the tires. The rubber is where you make contact with the road. That's literally what's going on here. So that is the main logic board for the Xbox One Series X. Now I'm gonna take the heatsink apart to take a closer look. All right, now the heatsink is separated from this part of the mid-frame slash chassis. And I feel like this also acts as a heatsink. And this is, of course, the main copper, the main heatsink, which is made out of copper. And this is a huge heatsink. This is a big heatsink right here. And that's thermal paste for the RAM. We're gonna take a quick look inside the case. At the front, we have the power button, and that connects to the motherboard with this ribbon cable here. Looks like it's very easy to replace, which is a good thing because these do break. Also, we have the green piece of plastic that gives the Xbox that green look on the inside when it's standing up. And that's the board for the USB port and the sync button. That sure is a lot of circuit board for one USB and a button. I imagine that would be downsized in a revision if they do one. Let's put it all back together. Now we're going to install the motherboard back onto the heatsink. We're going to put the X-clamp back on. Uses a Torx T8. And we're going to tighten these across and slowly. We're not going to tighten one and then try tightening the others. That's a bad idea. And now we're going to do these ones. All right, I'm gonna make sure these are tight. All right, now we're gonna put our NVMe SSD in. Install the Torx screw. Now we're going to install the cover. Like that. Now we're going to reinstall this piece here. Just going to push it down. A lot easier to put back on than it was to remove. Now we're going to attach the center chassis to the motherboard. We're going to run this ribbon cable through this slot here. And then it's going to line up like that. Then we're going to hook up the secondary motherboard, the one with the south bridge on it. We're going to reattach the ribbon cable. We're going to press these two tabs on the side, and then we're gonna put the cable in like that. Make sure it goes in all the way. All right, at this point, this plastic piece is gonna go on in these 3 holes here. Then we're gonna attach this piece, and we're gonna put these Torx screws that hold it in. Then we're going to install one of the network/Bluetooth modules. There's a connector on here that we're going to plug in like that. And there's 3 screws that hold it in. All right, at this point, we're going to install our power supply in. It's going to go right here. And these holes here should line up. This cable is going to run through here. And we're going to plug it in here. we're gonna plug this connector for the power supply. There's two connectors, this one and a smaller one here. Then we're gonna close the cover for the cable. Then we're gonna install this piece. These cables for the disk drive run through it, and this cable for the power supply runs over it. Like that. We're gonna install the screws that hold it in. This screw goes here. This long screw goes here. This black screw, Torx, goes here. This tall screw goes here. These three Torx screws go here, here, and here. And there's two more Torx black screws that go here and one over here. We're gonna run this cable through here, and we're gonna close till we hear it clip in. This black screw does not go here. Sorry about that. There's a silver Torx screw that goes in here. Now we're gonna install a black screw that holds the power supply in here. And now this metal piece that we removed, it goes on like this. We're gonna install one of these black Torx screws in here. There's a long Torx screw that goes in here like that. And there's a long screw that goes in here. There's a shorter Torx screw, finally, that goes in here. A black Torx screw here, one of these. And finally, there's a silver Torx screw that goes in here. Then we're gonna attach the Wi-Fi and network modules back on to the system. We're gonna line it up like that. And we're gonna install the network module on. We're gonna install the Torx screws that hold it in. There are two more screws for the power supply that we need to install. One of them goes here, and the other one goes here. All right, now, before we can get the Xbox chassis back in its case, we have to put this piece back on. And it goes on something like this. Like that. And now this Xbox is ready to be put back in the case. All right, when putting it back in the case, we want to make sure that these cables don't get in the way. I'm going to move these cables out of the way. And then slowly lower the chassis in. All right, now we're gonna reconnect the tape We're gonna run this cable underneath this rubber piece here. Then we're gonna reattach this cable. You wanna make sure that clip is up. Push your cable in. And then we're gonna push the clip down. You wanna do a visual inspection, make sure the cable's in, doesn't pull out. Then we're gonna put this cable in, and this one has a retention clip, so you push down on it, push the cable in, release the clip, and the cable's in. Next, we're gonna put the fan back in. Fan just locks in. Reconnect the connector. There's this screw here that goes here. There's a torque screw that goes here. And there's a torque screw that goes in here. Then we're gonna install the disk drive in. We're gonna move the cables out of the way. And then we're gonna connect the SATA cable and the power cable in. The power cable only goes in one way, and there's ridges on the side. So make sure you don't mess that up or you'll blow up your disk drive. We're gonna put the disk drive cover on. There's a torque screw here that holds the cover in. We're gonna install that. And this retention band here should be going through here, not over this cable. I've moved it and adjusted it accordingly. All right, now we're gonna stand the console up on its head. We're gonna reinstall the screws that go in the bottom. Here. Now we can attach the stand back on. You put it in place and then twist. When you hear the click, it's locked in. All right, now we're gonna put the console back, and the final step is putting the cover back on. All right, so the cover slides in like that, goes under the case, and then the rest of it clips in. All right, we're gonna install the two remaining screws. One here and one in here. And the final screw goes in like that. And we're done. And just for my sanity and peace of mind, I'm gonna plug it in to make sure that it turns on and everything. We didn't mess anything up. I'm gonna turn it on. Okay, we got power, so it still turns on. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the video if you liked it, and stay tuned for more content. We're gonna be doing a bunch of other Xbox Series videos and PS5 related videos, so stay tuned to our channel. Again, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.